Pain tried to slow me down, and for that I say, thank you. This was the start of a poem that I wrote last year after really spending some time sitting with and being present with all of the pain that I had experienced from the year before. The narrative and the story that I kept telling myself, not only then, but I still find myself saying it now, was, oh my gosh, 2024 was the most difficult, painful period of my life. And now I'm choosing to reframe that. And what it felt like for me during that time was that the world and everyone was getting ahead with their lives while I had my feet cemented in the ground. Or what it really felt like was that there was no ground and I didn't know how to fly or float. And we just kept going. And I just kept going down, 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 down. Where am I landing? There's nowhere to land, is what it felt like. Now I'm choosing to change this narrative. Every time I notice myself say that, I am choosing to switch what I say about it and maybe call it something like the most transformational period of my life, or the period of my life that truly gave me a sense of direction of the life that I wanted to create for myself. Hello, my beautiful friends. Welcome to Valerie's Garden with me, Valerie. Today's topic is on setbacks, perceived setbacks. And the reason I'm choosing to share this now is because I'm currently facing another perceived setback at a lesser degree. But this time I'm more confident in the knowing that this situation is not the end all be all. So I'm able to not feel so fixed on the impact of what I'm going through. And like I mentioned, it is a much smaller degree of a setback compared to what I felt, compared to what I was going through in 2024. Right now, I am training for an ultra marathon and I started working with a run coach. We got into training really quickly and pretty intensely. And I loved it. And I was after the challenge and I was doing everything I needed to do in terms of following the program. I don't think there's anything I could have done differently or better. I feel I went 0 to 100 and now I'm injured. So yes, there are things I could have done differently. And I've been injured for, I think it's been 2 weeks now, and my hip is in pain. It's uncomfortable. I can feel that I feel myself compensating with my walk, and it's like I almost have a little bit of a limp. So I'm swimming and biking and weight training, but there's part of me that's like, damn, I wish I could be running. And then the other more full part of me recognizes that this period that I'm currently going through is necessary for something that is going to be incredible. So I want to speak about perceived setbacks. What does a perceived setback feel like? It's frustrating. It's disappointing, depending on the severity of the situation. The setback can feel scary. It can feel overwhelming. It can feel like there is no end. It can also feel very isolating and like no one relates and like you're the only person ever to go through something like this. But you're not alone. Let me just first say, you are exactly where you're meant to be. Trust in the timing, trust in the experience, and trust in where you're at. You're never alone. Everything's going to be okay. I promise you that. I promise you that much. I believe that what makes a perceived setback so frustrating to us is that we feel and we believe that this temporary state is a fixed and permanent outcome. Like that is it. It's final. We feel that it may never end. And because we are so fixed in that and so present in that, there is this heavy emotional weight tied to it. Like your perspective is narrowed, but this is not true and this is not the case. And once you are able to really understand and recognize and be confident in the ebbs and flows of life, once you really know that, once you can really feel and know and look back at your experiences, all the times that you have been down, to see that you can come back up again, that is when you can start to lean into the fact that all is going to be okay. And sometimes I feel like life is asking us to fully be present with and feel those negative emotions and feelings that come with the experience of the negative situation and the obstacle and the challenge and the setback. Once you allow yourself to accept and be present with it, you're already on the up. A perspective to consider when you're experiencing setbacks is that even though it sometimes feels like you're stuck in time while others are going, you can view it as you're being gifted more time to slow down and really assess little bits and pieces of your life. You can assess and evaluate your intention while you're doing things and the way you're doing things, which brings me back to the quote I shared at the beginning: pain tried to slow me down. And for that, I say thank you, because I did slow down and I wasn't going to slow down. I was going to continue going unless I was given a reason to full stop in my tracks and be present with myself and see what I needed to do differently too. With setbacks, you're given this time to reflect, reevaluate, consider new directions. There's a quote that says something about your biggest detour may be your biggest direction. And for me, it took learning the lessons I needed to learn in 2024 to truly be clear about who I wanted to be in the world and what I wanted to bring to the world, how I wanted to make others feel. I always knew, but to truly embody with intention is a different thing. And to take action and to be bold, I needed to learn these lessons. I needed to be with myself. So for me, the direction of more truth and love, that was my path. That's where I was headed. And your direction might be different. Let's say, for example, there's someone who has maybe neglected their health and made poor food choices throughout their life, and they're diagnosed with a disease or a condition that really shakes the foundation of things and makes them pause and is so big that there's no other choice but to change. Their direction and impact on the world may later be in relation to health and the importance of health and caring for the body like the temple that it truly is. For me, with my hip, I knew that I should have eased into things. And for me, once again, the lesson could be trusting myself and speaking up and sharing this with my coach that I think maybe it's just too much too soon, or too much all at once, or maybe being more mindful and intentional when I'm doing warm-ups for running, being cautious and mindful on the trails to be aware of extra elements, being mindful about jumping into new shoes and just full sending on the trails. Like, this is my body too, and I need to take care of it. And I need to be gentle with it. And even in the pursuit of giving things my all, I still need to be mindful. Another thing with setbacks is that the lessons that we learn are unique to each of us and are very dependent on our situations. Sometimes the lesson is persistence. For example, knowing that I will be returning to running, and with this time and this space away from it, I can fortify my why. I can reevaluate the way I do my training. My love for the sport can deepen, and when I return, I can do things more carefully, but with full passion and full force. And by full force, I don't mean full speed and intensity, but I mean in an all-encompassing way. Taking my rest seriously, taking my warm-up seriously, taking my stretching seriously, taking my nutrition and hydration seriously as well. If a workout is asking me to run it cruisy, I run it cruisy. And sometimes the lesson is embracing redirection or adaptation. Given what you're going through, what can you do? What can you do? What can you do differently? What can you do now? And sometimes it's both. And that's where I find myself now. So if you are facing an obstacle or a setback in your life right now, I invite you to take a deep breath and remind yourself that it is not the end all be all. Your position isn't permanent. And let's just say that you are in a physical position that is permanent. Your mindset about what that means doesn't need to be. Okay? Everything is going to be okay. Everything is going to be so okay. I promise you that. I promise you that. And with that, I want you to take a look back at your life, at all the times that you really felt like you were never going to get out of a situation, a time when you felt like you couldn't see the light at the end of the tunnel, and remembering that you got through it. And maybe with that specific situation, you'll be like, yeah, that was actually the biggest blessing. That's what I needed to go through to be where I'm at now. Stronger, braver, smarter, more courageous, and more you. And if you're currently experiencing a setback, take this time that you have and that life is giving you to slow down. Be with it. And when you return to the good times again and the joyful or peaceful states of being, whatever it is, you can appreciate it more. And when you're going through the good, You can also just take a moment to think back to maybe when you were really sick one time and you couldn't even get out of bed, or a time when your body felt so tired and weak, but now you're doing just okay. And the last thing that I want to leave you with is this. Instead of solely asking, why is something happening to me? Why is this happening to me? Ask yourself, what is this preparing me for? What skills, what qualities, what traits, who and what is this experience shaping you to be? And what is it preparing you for? Probably someone absolutely freaking incredible, who you already are. Someone who's self-aware, self-trusting, self-confident, self-loving, a freaking badass, brave, bold, smart, more creative, more innovative, more relaxed, more fun. What skill set, what tools, what traits are you developing now? For what? This badass leader who has all these cool breathwork techniques and, let's say, nervous system regulation methods, or who just knows the right thing to say. I don't know. Someone who has been so present in their own experience that they're able to guide someone through theirs. Oh, wait, that's what I want to do. Before I head out, I want to invite you to trust in the knowing, or we can call it the possibility. I invite you to trust in the possibility of everything working out as it's meant to, there being a purpose for the setback, and the setback serving as a gift for something beautiful to come. Thank you so much for being here with me today. It always, always, always means the world to me. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Have an incredible day. Have an incredible week. I'll see you on next week's episode. Bye.